Hello, everyone. I assume that you're all
Hello.
excellent. Hello, Grant. Hello, Alessandra. Hello, Ashley. Okay, we're right now.
Hello, hello.
Hello to you. All right. Um, Let me share the screen. All right. Can you see the screen at the moment?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Can you see it now? Like right now? Can you see it now?
No.
Okay. Okay. No worries then. All right. I'll be back now. Okay, so we're going to begin our lesson now. And in this is chapter three, right? So in chapter two, we saw the name of God and the secrets of creation contained in it. In chapter one, uh, we saw first and foremost what consciousness is the only reality is all about, or there is only one God. Okay, that's the fundamental thing. Now today we're looking at the law of creation. The law of creation. And what you'll find in the law of creation is, again, of course, never using these stories from the Bible to teach the secret of creation. So the first thing I want you to pay attention to is the word law. Like I've mentioned over and over again, I want you to get it in a very basic practical sense. If you go to the wall, maybe you even have uh, the control on your phone, and you press the switch button for your lights to come on, it comes on. But it's actually obeying a law. And more importantly, the meaning of the word law is that which cannot be broken in the mystical sense. In the daily life, yeah, maybe a person breaks the law of man, right? And that person goes through some punishment, some discipline, or disciplinary action as a consequence of it. That's in the world of man. However, in in the world of God, okay, the law is that which cannot be broken. Say you press the switch, the light comes on. But that is a mimic, like I've mentioned also before. Oh, well, I want you to really approach this like you're just learning it afresh. So yeah, um, when you press the switch and the light comes on, you press it and it goes off. It's the law of physics, law of electromagnetism working there. But that particular law mimics the law of creation, the law of the mind, in the sense that it is demonstrating how the mind also works. One of the lessons from it being that if you press the right switch in your mind or in your mental atmosphere, you produce the right kind of result that you would love to demonstrate. Of course, creation, in this sense, it's not the same classic sense of creation that you have in the sense of making something like it never existed. It's the sense of creation as in manifesting or revealing that which has been hidden. So that's what creation really is. So you want to actually take it like the things are, but they're invisible. And the law of creation shows you how to make them visible. Again, it's a law, you cannot break it. So you're either um, operating it right or not, but it's not broken. So It's not broken means if you use it and you don't get the results that you want out of it, then it's not because something is faulty in the process or in the working of the law, but that oh, it's just like the switch. I press it and the light doesn't come on. Well, I know that something has tripped up somewhere and the circuit is broken. So I didn't go, wow, electromagnetism is a fluke. And then because of that, take my hand and put it on a live wire, right? So the same goes here. You don't go, oh, well, the law is messed up and then consequently start assuming all negative things. No, you still consciously discipline yourself to assume loving, positive things. You just make sure what you're assuming, you're doing it in the proper way. Well, we have one story here to show us this law, to demonstrate it. And this is the story of Noah and the ark. Now, as we've seen over and over again, these stories are mystical revelations. Okay, they are dreams. They're written and they're written in a symbolism. And I have mentioned some of the passages that actually mention that reveal that these are signified or they are symbols. One of them being Revelations 1 verse 1. It's a symbol. So, and the symbolism is an Eastern one. So it's not the way, for example, that I typically, in my traditional way, would interpret the symbol. And it's not in the way that, say, a Western mind would interpret the symbol. They're written from an Eastern mind symbolism. And our role is to know what or depict what the symbols are and then apply it. So we all know the story of Noah and the ark. Now, Noah has three sons, and in the story, in the setting between them, between Noah and the three sons, is actually a revelation of the law of creation. The first son is Shem. Shem means name. The second son is Ham. Ham means warm or alive. And the third son is Japheth, which means an extension. If you just looking at this, you can begin to see again the secret of creation that we find in the name of God in this lesson, right? So you have the name, you have the uh, warmth, and then you have the extension. And if you like to consider Noah itself, then of course you have the father. That's Noah. Noah's role is that of the father. The name being Shem, the warmth being Ham, and the and extension being Japheth. And you will see in it again, like I said, Jod Evawe. So Yod, I am. That's the father. That's Noah. And A, name. Okay, that. Thou, the joiner. I am. I am that. I am. And this that is serving a dual function. So it's here and it's here. Now, so after the vowel, I am, and then again it's there. I am that I am. Okay. So that in the middle actually goes both ways. Okay. In this place, it is looked at as that which is off. I am aware of it. That which is external. That which is independent of you. But here, it is looked at as that which originates from you. That which is within you. Okay. Now, not the Father is the conceiver, the builder of a new world. I want you to look at this and tell me, because I want you to also get this manner of interpretation that I told you I had. So look at this and tell me which of the three kinds of expressions or kinds of process do you see this as? Does it offer you a principle? Does it offer you an attitude? Or does it offer you um, a practice? So is this a principle like telling you what is? Does it give you an attitude like telling you how to be? Or does it give you a practice like what to do? Please put in the chat. Let's see. Oh, the sound is a bit muffled. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. But can you hear me? Did you hear everything I said so far? Okay, good. We're going to have to do the mic test again. Is it better now? Okay, good. Thank you. So, like I said, what does that offer? Which of the three does it offer? Noah, the father, the conceiver, the builder of a new world, is equivalent to the yod, or unconditioned consciousness I am. But actually, it is this part. Noah, the father, the conceiver, the builder of a new world. What does it offer? Principle, practice, attitude. We need to see one or two responses so we can move on from there, actually. So don't second guess yourself. Okay. Well, this is an attitude, actually. It's it gives you or it's offering you the attitude of being a builder of a new world. Look at it this way. If you are not a builder, well, there's a certain way that you live, right? If you're a builder, there's a certain way that you carry yourself. There's a way of life you'd have as a builder. If you're building and what you're building is, say, a small, like a small sand house by the beach, there's a way you carry yourself. Unlike if you're building a new world, there's a different way you carry yourself. Do you understand? If you're the conceiver, there's a way you view or think about yourself. So it's not a principle. It's not saying X is because of Y, but it's saying this is the kind of person this person is. So if you're operating the role of Noah, well, then you are the conceiver, which means you make the concepts up or you conceive independent of anyone. You don't wait for anyone in the world to do it. You conceive. You're the builder of a new world. So you build things, don't tear them down, right? And a new world, not a small house, not a little bridge. Okay, people get um, stuck on bridge of incidents. You've got to do your bridge of incidents thing. Well, if they see that they are Noah, the builder of a new world, they'll be less concerned with the bridges of incidents, right? And more interested in the world they're building. If they're the conceiver, they'll be more interested in having a clear concept of what they're considering. Do you understand this? Do you all understand this, everyone? Good. And do you see how it's not, well, was that your guess, attitude? Or was it principle? Okay, attitude, good. So yeah, you're correct. But next time, drop the answer, okay? Now, that is unconditioned consciousness. That is I am. That is Noah, the conceiver. In other words, the conceiver is not conceived, but can conceive all things. So, of course, unconditioned consciousness, the Father, it's not bound to any one state, but can enter into any state. All right. And you'll find this expressed in another way as the Father who is in all, through all, and within you all, above all, in all, and within you all. And through all. That is Ephesians 4:6. Okay. Now, shame is your desire. It is what you're conscious of. But like I said, as a desire, you're conscious of it as something that is external to you, like it's outside. And this is the conceiver simply conceiving, like, okay, I'm aware and I'm aware of it. I'm aware of it. That's Shem. Now, take notes. The meaning of the word Shem is name. And I find that to be really significant. And I want to show you why. Look at it. It says that which you name and define as your objective. To name a thing, well, means you have complete liberty to call it whatever you want to call it. It's uh, it's so much freedom. And another word for this is infinite free will, right? Infinite free will. So much freedom. You can make it whatever you want to make it. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Now, let me also clarify that naming here is not the same as adjusting, like adjusting to. What do I mean by adjusting to? Like something happened and then you go, okay, well, I can see the good in it. No, that's not the kind of naming we're talking about here. Okay? So that's not naming. And let me just see the good in it. Let me see something to be grateful for in it. You don't like it. So don't look for something to be grateful for in it. Just change it. Now name a new thing, a new world. You're the builder of a new world. You're not the one who picks the rubbles of the old and try to, um, make a patch something up from it. So that which you name. And I also think of name as I really think of it in the strictest sense, like a proper noun kind of a name. So the word name actually is the same as the word noun. Okay. Uh, if you're speaking in grammar sense, all right. But there is a particular type. It's a proper noun. See what is unique about a proper noun is that it is like the thing of itself. It's one and only in the world. Any proper noun is actually its own type. Yeah, we have people who have like if you search someone's name, you probably will have a few hits on Facebook or on Google, and you'll be like, oh well, maybe there are like 50 people who bear this name in the world, or 500 people bear this name in this world. That don't let that remove from you the sense of the idea that a proper noun actually means really specific to one person. If parents named their children right, I feel this is what they would do. They would consider, let me give this my son or my daughter a name that would be so unique. There's nobody else in the world that will have it. Okay. Okay. I feel that's what they would do. Okay. Because that's what a proper noun is meant to be, really. And for example, when people name streets, that's a proper noun. But they don't intend for the name of this street to be the same as the name of another street that is in another city. It's just that city is none of their concern. So when they call this particular name of the street, that is all they know. Do you understand the idea of a proper noun that I'm talking about here? So the Pacific, how many Pacifics are there in the world? Just one, right? So how many Atlantic are there in the world? If I say the Atlantic, well, you know the one that I'm talking about. If I say the Indian Ocean, you know the one I'm talking about. There aren't 50 of it in the world. There is just that one. Okay. So if your name has like 200 other people who bear the same name in your region or like in your town, okay, don't fret. Still identify that this is like a very proper specific name. You define, like I mentioned define to you earlier. It's the fine. Fine meaning actually particle, like very, very specific particle. And D meaning removing all particles, all extras until the one unique thing is left. If you're a builder, if you are the builder of a new world, if you're a conceiver, you will understand that the shame part of your role is a very important one. Think of it as the builder of a new world. Well then, you want to build something that is grand, that is unique, that will be spoken of for ages, right? That has literally been the reason for many of the best no, not archaeology, architectural masterpieces in the world. Do you recognize, like in the literal sense, it's one of the reasons for. some of the best monuments in the world. Like, oh yeah, I'm uh, King Alexander of something. I want to build something in this city or in this country that generations from now will continue to remember me by. Naming, defining as the builder of a new world. It's a very serious matter. As a matter of fact, if you don't have the name properly defined, you could stay on the one same desire for years. I'm not saying months, I'm saying years. Just because one thing, just because you don't have the name specified, like well defined. And it will surprise you that the day the name becomes well defined, the same desire happens within weeks or even days, sometimes by itself. So ignoring rule two is one of the surest ways to keep oneself from creating uh, that new world in a grand manner. And embracing it and practicing it properly is one of the best ways to actually produce your result in the fastest manner. So that is name. It is equivalent to the second letter H, right? And ham is the third. Now, ham is the third, and that is like the second son actually. But that's the third thing we're looking at, the third character. So we look at them by characters, not really like son or something. So ham is the third, and it means warm or life, which is basically the state of feeling. Warmth represents feeling, and cold represents not feeling, right? So warmth, the state of feeling. Sir, can you still hear me and clearly? Hold on a minute. So suppose this time around. Okay, good.
Yes, we can.
Uh, 1 minute. I just have to make sure this connection stays. Yeah. All right, very good. So that is ham, right? It's the state of feeling, the state of warm. And in other words, think of when you've named the name, when you've named your desire, like you specify this is what I want, then you want to approach it with the idea of feeling or warmth. That's all you've got to have with it. Warmth. That's it. Really, really concentrate on the sense of warmth. Now, let me ask you a question. Of all the types of temperatures in the world, okay, they could be experiencing, which one is the most natural, comfortable, only, and suitable for you? Cold, hot, or warmth? Which one feels like home? The sense of home, like relief, home, at ease, at rest, warmth. Thank you. So, for example, when Neville says relief is the most keenly felt sensation of man, it's actually accurate because relief is another word for warmth. Really, that's it. Warmth. If you were exposed to so much cold and you suddenly enter into warmth, you're going to just have this sense of relief. If you're exposed to so much hot and you suddenly come in contact with warmth, you again have relief. I literally experienced that a few minutes ago. Okay. But you see, if you are in warmth, you just simply in warmth. That's it. Just simply in warmth. And warmth actually carries the sense of home to it. Now, I'm pretty sure many of you here know this experience firsthand. You're out in the winter and it's so cold and you just can't wait to get home, right? You can't wait to get home. Is that correct? Like out in the winter and it's so cold out there. And you've got all of this, you've got so many clothes on, but you can't wait to get home. Why can't you wait to get home? Because at home, one thing is sure for you, it's warm. Now bring that into this sense of fun. Yeah, Alessandro says why I live in California. Okay. Now bring that into the sense of warmth. And then you understand what you've got to do with your desire is to bring it home. And what you've got to do with yourself relative to the desire is to be at home with it. That's it. Warmth. Introduce the sense of being at home, of being comfortable. What is the ultimate secret of manifestation? And I want to see um, who brings the answer up here. Okay, what's the ultimate secret of manifestation? Now, we've got naturalness. Thank you, Alessandra. Now, bring that again beside warmth. Do you see that it's actually the same expression? So when we say naturalness, we're saying have the feeling. And that's why when we say, how do you get naturalness? Well, imagine. That's how you get naturalness. Imagine the thing. So like, oh, you've persisted, you've imagined, persistent means I've imagined it. Oh, you're clear about it. Yeah, okay, good. And then we say, okay, well, become natural with it. And how do you achieve that? Imagine. What does the imagining do? It makes you come, it makes you become at home with the idea. And it, again, once. Okay? So that is the third name. It is that which joins or binds together, which joins the consciousness desire, which is you, to the thing desired, which is what you, which is what you are imagining for. Now, the last is Japheth. And you see, when it comes to Japheth, it's like you really don't have to do anything. That is the extended or objectified state. It's simply bearing witness to the subjective state. So think of it this way. It's bearing witness. Is there anything you've got to do there? The objectified state is bearing witness. If you got to do anything, no. All the action, if you notice, all the action actually does in the subjective state because this simply bears witness to it. So it doesn't do anything other than bear witness. In other words, you don't have to do anything in expression of Japheth. That is the extension. It is the word extension, okay? Properly represented simply means it goes further. It's like, let's say I'm going, this is the line, and then the line continues. That's simply it. It continues, right? So I don't have to concentrate on it or focus on it. I've only got to focus on the subjective state which continues into it. If I want to make it be anything, well, change the subjective state and then it will extend into that thing. That's all. So we can see it as a law now and we can appreciate it as a law because we can recognize that all it does, this outer world, that is the objectified world, all it does is to represent whatever the subjective state is. You don't have to try to fix it. It's not broken. You don't have to try to deal with it. All you've got to do is control the subjective state and then let it bear witness. Let it. And it will. And in the world will go, wow, that happened. But you know what? It wouldn't happen any other way. That's the only way it could be. Okay? So now let us take a look at it again. The first thing is you beget an idea, an urge, a desire. You are knower, the knower, the creator. You know things. The first thing you do is you beget an idea. So now we can see practice. First thing I do is I give birth to an idea, to an urge, to a desire. That's my first son. And I did mention that to you in the last call, right? That's the Son of God. That's the first son. Okay, what's my idea? That's the first thing. Like you go in, this is the practice, and then you sit down by yourself, go, have I given birth to an idea now? If the answer is no, well then come back to this. Forget about what to imagine, forget about feeling, come back to this. Do I have a clear idea? If the answer is no again, come back to it. But once the answer is yes, well then the second thing is to feel that you are one with it or to be at home with it. The one, all right? You join to that state. And you do that by imagining you are the idea that you give birth to and simply being one with it. That's like just oneness, oneness, naturalness, one. Just be friends with it. Okay? Be at home. Like the two of you can have a tight hug or shake hands and smile at each other. Okay. It's not like the desire is gonna appear in your consciousness and you're going to take run off into related or even yeah into associated images or even into adjacent ideas. No, but you're one with it. And if it approaches you, you approach it. If it's before you, you before it, and you shake hands. And like teacher is that way. Like really, really only with it. The third son, of course, is Japheth. That's the confirmation. It's the visible proof that you know the secret of creation. Now look at this. Isn't it visible proof that creation works? No. It is the visible proof that you know. So if you don't know the secret, if you don't know this, if Japhet is not what you'd like it to be, the external world is not what you'd like it to be. It's just kind of like um I call it a psychological button, a psychological alarm. That's what I call it. Like if someone says, "Hey, Adelie, something got me triggered. The outer world did this, and I got triggered." And I go, "You call it a trigger." I just say that's a psychological alarm that says, "Go back into the state." It says, "Well, you don't know the secret of creation. Otherwise, it would happen." So what it's telling you is, as far as this objective is concerned, come to master the secret of creation. And when you do, it will bear witness again. It will bear witness again. So the conscious or mystical marriage, the conscious union of mystical marriage is made only through feeling. Only through what? Feeling. Nothing else in this world. So if you truly believe this and you truly want to apply it, the only thing you will seek in this world is what? I want an answer in the chat. If you truly believe it, and you truly want to apply it, and you can read right here. The conscious union of mystical marriage is made possible only through feeling. So what's the only thing you're going to look for in this world? All you've got to find is the feeling. That feeling has another name, warmth. It's also the same as naturalness. It's basically what people call faith. It's the same as faith. It's your mental activity, feeling. That's what you've got to find. You are what you feel yourself to be right now. And that's what is expressing in the world. Okay? Hold on a minute, everyone. 1 minute, please. All right. So that is really the summary of the narration of Noah and his three sons. It is feeling which performs this heavenly union of the father and son. So father, Noah, and Shem, son. Unconditioned consciousness and conditioned consciousness. So we come again to a point here. All is consciousness expressed. Because what is feeling at the end of the day? It's consciousness, right? Feeling is consciousness, becoming aware as something. Now, unconditioned consciousness is still consciousness. And then conditioned consciousness is still consciousness. And we saw Japhet earlier. It is what? An extension of this unconditioned consciousness, now conditioned. So again, if it's an extension of that, well, it is consciousness. All ends run through to origin. Do you remember that phrase? Never quote it a lot. I have forgotten where. I think it is from The Light of Asia. Yeah, it's not the same as Shelley. Yeah, it's The Light of Asia. All ends run through to origins. There's a there's a beautiful phrase before it. See the sesame, see the cornfields or see the fields. The sesame was sesamum. The corn was corn. The silence and the darkness knew, and so is a man's fate born. The corn was corn. The external world corn was corn. It was a seed of corn. The sesamum in the external world was a seed of sesamum. The silence in the darkness of your meditation knows. And that's the way the fate of every man is born. So all ends run through to origin. Now, by performing this service, feeling automatically serves Japheth, which is the blessing that Noah placed on them, right? It says, Ham, you will always serve your brother Japheth. And that's not a curse at all, as much as people like to think it is. So it's the blessing. It's actually it's the way the law works. Japheth is always served. This external world is always served by the internal world. So to feel the presence of the thing desired, to subjectively actualize the state by impressing upon yourself through feeling a definite conscious state is the secret of creation. Read it again. Because when you see the word, like when you're reading or studying Neville and you come across this idea, like, okay, this is the secret. Pay attention, pay extra attention, and pay attention one more time. So you could actually get it. Because if you don't know it, you don't have the proof in your outer world. If you know it, you have the proof in your outer world. Now, let's go through this again. To feel the presence of the sin desired. Keyword one, the presence. We've looked at feeling again and again. Okay, I feel. But the presence, meaning the appearance, the awareness of it as something that is right before me. That's what it means by presence. If you're in a room and you're alone, you behave in a certain way, you comport yourself in a certain way. The moment someone knocks on the door, you have the sense of someone's presence, right? The moment you open the door, you know what? Your behavior actually changes. The moment that person comes into the same room as you, let's say you're in your living room, just you alone in the entire house, fine. Then someone comes in, maybe your partner, maybe your kids, maybe your friends, your entire demeanor changes. Now, if you really feel the presence of the same desired, then your consciousness will be changed. It won't be the same as unconditioned anymore. And it's all subjectively done. Subjectively, meaning you don't have to actually deal with the object. This outer world is the object. It's all subjectively done. And how you do it is by impressing upon yourself. It's by impressing upon yourself through feeling a definite conscious state. Another word is impressing. Like pushing it into, that's impress. Okay? In, with meaning within, in, into. In means into and press. All right. Of course, like pressing down or pushing into. So pushing it into yourself. Impress upon yourself. Upon who? No one in this world, but yourself. Just yourself. Through feeling, again, a definite. We've looked at definite, like very unique or precise or specific. Conscious, again, internal, state. That is the secret of creation. Let's skip these entire parts, which is actually an explanation, a commentary. So to feel the presence of the thing desired is the secret of creation. Is that simple enough? About to imagine successfully? Let me repeat it. To feel the presence of the thing desired is the secret of creation. And we just looked at what presence means, right? Now I want you to contemplate this for the rest of your day today. To feel the presence of the thing desired is the secret of creation. It's subjectively done through impressing yourself, using the mode of feeling. All of those are comments on precisely how to do it. But you can tell that you've done it if you look and you see that you feel the presence of the thing desired. Do you get this? Now, let's look because all of this, yeah, it's good, nice, really wonderful, but can I do it? Can I actually do it? Now it says the ability. Oh, let me just quickly make a comment on this because I did mention it in passing. So, like I said earlier, the relationship was not actually one of a curse because that would be really cruel. Okay. Noah is a righteous man. The entire symbol of that story, I believe you find it in Genesis 9 or 10. So the entire symbol of it is actually that your presence objectified what is Japheth, which was made visible by Ham. Therefore, Ham serves his brothers, Shem and Japheth. The symbol is that Ham has no other choice. Whatever you feel, the outer world has no choice but to express it. Whatever you feel actually serves the outer world. It will always come into expression if you feel it impressively. The key word here being service. Okay. To be of service. Do you remember the phrase, the one who is the least among you is the greatest, and the one who serves the most amongst you is the chief. Okay. Now apply this to it. Apply that to this, and you understand it actually is the law of creation. Ham serves. And the meaning of that is always available to effect that which you're conscious as being, as that which is expressed in your world, as your life. Okay. Um, Now, the ability to feel the unseen, the ability to actualize and make real a definite subjective state through the sense of feeling is the secret of creation. So again, look at the secret of creation. Number one says to feel the presence of the thing desired. Now, I put this beside this and I go, okay. So to feel the presence of the thing desired is the same thing as the ability to feel the unseen. So no doubt it's unseen. Nobody sees it but me. Okay, it's invisible. It's just in my imagination. But I have the ability, don't I, to actually feel it. Like you can enter a room and feel that it is real to you, even though you are not in it physically. You can enter it in your imagination. Like you can place your hand on a friend's hand and feel that, say, for example, the wedding ring is on their hand in your imagination. You can use your telephone and it's not with you physically, but you can hold it in your imagination and feel you could hear the voice of your friend. So you can actualize and make real a definite subjective state. And that is the secret of creation. So presence, because feel is the same thing here. Feel is the same thing here, right? The sense of feeling. So presence is the same as knowing the unseen or actualizing and making real a definite subjective state. That's how you, well, have the presence of a thing. In literal terms, when you imagine a state, you imagine it as if it's actually there, as if it's actually true, as if it's actually real, as if it's actually occurring. Not like it is a figment, a fantasy, or a possibility. No, but like it's actually. Say you're relaxing, just imagine that you have your friends, you're here, and you hear your friend saying, I got the job. All right. Now, you do it like it's actually a phone call happening now. Like it's actually happening. It's unseen, it's invisible, yeah, but that doesn't remove anything from the sense of actuality to you. Invisible, meaning if anyone comes into the room, they won't see it, but I actually see it, or I actually hear it. If someone comes into the room and they see me sitting where I am, they won't tell where I am. They can't say that I am in any one location in this world, but I am there where I want to be. And that is the secret of creation again. So you look at it now, you see the secret by which the word unseen desire is made visible, is made flesh. And God calleth things that be not as though they were. In other words, and the unseen become seen. All the things that are not seen as if they were actually visible. So it does this by first defining itself as that which it desires to express and remaining. So we find a new word introduced here, which again is still a part of the entire because it says it does this by so remaining within the defined state until the invisible becomes visible. And that is where we have persistence introduced in the secret of creation. So you don't do it and then go off and then go, well, I did it yesterday. So it should have happened. It should work because I did it 2 nights ago. I did it 5 nights ago. When I introduce this principle to people, one of the first questions I get is, "Oh, but I imagine a number of things. Why didn't it happen?" Okay, you either mean you are imagining how you get those things rather than imagining the very thing itself being in your possession, or you mean you imagined it once and you forgot all about it and you went back to your doubt of canon. Nah, that can happen because this my life that I know right now is so real to me. Persistence is just as much a key ingredient. And it says, and second, so first, defining yourself to be that. And second, remaining within it. So we look at feel the presence, we look at the secret, the ability to feel the unseen, to actualize and make real. We look at it here and we can see it in 2 steps. One, two. One, picture, and two, persist. Okay? And that's how this works. So don't question how it can be done. Simply feel that you have it. Assume the attitude of mind that would be yours if you're already in possession of it so that you feel it is done. Feeling is the secret of creation. Be as wise as Ham and make this discovery that you too may have the joy of serving your brothers, Shem and Japheth, the joy of making the word or name flesh. Do you have any question here? Okay, I'd like you to share questions if there are any. Okay. Yeah. Bring the comment on. Yes. Okay. Scott says, I have a comment more if that's okay. I discovered the feeling of high and it made this lesson easier. Discovered it today. Congratulations, Scott. I like that. And if you pay attention to everything that we learned today, everyone, okay, and of course Scott too, and then you go back to read Changing the Feeling of High or Fundamentals, it's going to make a whole lot more sense to you. And then you can actually see the points of application in it, right? So the points of application in them. So is that clear, everybody? Thank you, Scott, for sharing that. So we'll meet tomorrow, same time and same place. And until then, bye bye, all of you. Okay, yeah, I can make the 24-hour play link available. Alrighty. Bye bye.